Okay.
All right. In your opinion, what aspects of current alcohol education and support efforts actually resonate with students, and what tends to be overlooked or ignored?
That is a loaded question. I think what's going to resonate with students are going to be the ones that actually take it seriously. So the ones that actually do want to make a change. Right now we currently offer a few different diversion options for them. Diversion is basically what allows them to get out of a citation, but it also allows them to be educated on the harmful effects of alcohol and why they should wait until they are legal age to drink.
Yeah.
So are you more so asking about ones that are underage in drinking, or the ones that are just college age and allowed to drink?
I guess, yeah, underage, and also like just issues that correlate with students drinking, like on campus, or issues that come with that, and then, yeah.
Well, I'm confidently going to say that 90-95% of the cases we have stem from alcohol, or at least that I deal with. And a lot of people would be in a lot less world of hurt had they not decided to drink, or at least drink excessively.
Yeah.
I know we constantly have traffic offenses, simple assaults, rapes, and whatever else may stem from excessive alcohol use, but those are the main ones that we deal with.
Okay. So how do you guys measure whether prevention efforts are effective?
I went through a couple studies and kind of preparing for you to come. Generally, if you go through the court system, judge will typically order what's called 24/7 program, and that can have a wide range of what it looks like. So 24/7 is basically a program that where you're not allowed to partake of any drugs or alcohol for a period of time set by the judge. And so to monitor whether or not you're on drugs or using alcohol, there's multiple ways you can do that. You can do the breath testing, you can do urine analyses, you can do drug patches, and then let's see, we've also got CAM bracelets. Those are continuous alcohol monitoring bracelets. And then we have remote breaths. So basically it's like a portable breath machine that will scan your face to verify who is blowing into that. And then we also have ignition interlocks. So basically you have to blow into it to verify you haven't been drinking before you can even drive the car.
Okay.
The 24/7 program is fairly new. I think it started in the late 2000s. And so up until 2025, I guess I don't have the full number here, but we've had thousands upon thousands of participants in that. And I can give you the statistics for how each one of them works and how successful they are. You have the pass rates for those.
Okay.
But aside from that, your question also related to how do we determine the efficacy of those tests.
Yeah.
And so this was a study done. It's a little aged now, but it looks like it was 2013. And so by this point, the 24/7 program had only been in effect for a couple of years. But in their discussion portion, they said that by that point, 17,000 people in South Dakota had participated in the 24/7 sobriety program. And that was between 2005 and 2010. They found that there's strong evidence to support that the 24/7 program reduced the incidence of DUIs and domestic violence arrests, as well as traffic crashes as well. And they actually included a percentage right here, saying that 12% reduction in repeat DUI arrests and a 9% reduction in domestic violence arrests at the county level. How that looks like now, 2025, 12 years later, could be different, but from what I've heard, we are still seeing an increase in, well, maybe I should say decrease in those offenses with those who are on the 24/7 program.
Okay.
So that's how it kind of helps with, that's the efficacy, and then, yeah, anyway, I've talked long enough. What's your next question?
Do you think current enforcement approaches like citations or arrests are helping reduce alcohol misuse long term, or are there more effective alternatives you like to see?
I think the citation is generally the first wake-up call people might have,
Yeah.
because otherwise, who knows what'll happen. But receiving a citation essentially gets you to the point where you can be in front of a judge. And I think that a lot of people sometimes see, court proceedings as a punishment. And, there's two sides of the same coin. One side is punishment, the natural consequence. But the other side is that we want to help you. And so being able to have that citation, have an appearance in court, and for some it's a wake-up call right then, but for others that are more serious offenses like the DUIs or simple assaults that are associated with the alcohol, that's how you're going to get onto that 24/7 program. And then also with the diversion classes as well, that help teach those who have abused alcohol the bad effects of it and how to better handle the addiction. We also do when we prosecute these things, we typically ask for a chemical dependency evaluation. So essentially they go to a health professional and they get like a screening. Okay. And from there, the health professional will give them steps on what they can do to complete to gain a greater independence from substance abuse.
Okay. Recognizing that completely preventing alcohol use among students is challenging, how does the department promote safer drinking practices to minimize harm?
Ask me one more time.
Recognizing that completely preventing alcohol use among students is challenging, how does the department promote safer drinking practices to minimize harm?
I think that we're just one office in a whole cog of systems. So essentially we can have the consequence aspect that helps as the wake-up call for them and ultimately get them to where they need to go. So like going through the chemical dependency evaluations with a mental health professional, or just helping them stay accountable, which is essentially what the 24/7 program does. Or in some cases, they just need some imprisonment time, and then through the jails there's also other courses that they can take to help them learn about addiction and tools that they can come out of with and being able to use.
Are there any common misconceptions students may have about drinking laws or enforcement that you wish more prevention programs addressed?
I think more students should probably take fake IDs more seriously. I think it's pretty common, especially around here, just to have a fake ID to get into a bar and get yourself some drinks. What a lot of people may not know is that is a Class 1 misdemeanor, which carries some pretty severe penalties. And it's a crime of dishonesty, and depending on what type of field the student is trying to get into, I think it can have an impact up to 10 years on some professions. I think nursing is one of them. So if you have a crime of dishonesty, it really reflects on your record and can have an impact. And for one drink in the moment, that can have an impact on you for 10 years later down the road. That's a big consequence that more people should probably think about.
Yeah. So how would you guys prevent that? Or what steps do you guys take to prevent that? Or I guess look for it too?
Well, I think a lot of the officers are out patrolling, especially anytime past midnight.
Yeah.
And when the bars are closing around 2:30, and they're just looking for people that have open containers on the sidewalk and patrolling to see, a lot of times people will just say, yeah, my name is this. They'll run the name through dispatch and it comes up that they are underage. And so I think just extra policing during times when are needed is the best that we can do right now. There's other avenues that we can go down, but at the end of the day, it's an accountability problem for the bars themselves. We can have more stringent things that would prevent people from entering with fake IDs.
Yeah.
But ultimately, those aren't feasible for bars.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Have you encountered any situations that made you think we need to do more in terms of prevention?
That's a common thing I think about. Me and the other people in the office talk about this a lot, and then we also have officers that come in a lot and say, what else can we do other than just writing these tickets?
Okay.
At the end of the day, it's something that's just kind of hard to accomplish. But if anybody has any ideas on that, I'm open.
Beyond enforcement, how does the department encourage responsible alcohol consumption within the community? And I guess besides the 24/7 program, are there any other programs or partnerships?
Yeah, so we do the diversion classes, which I talked about a little bit. And if you're a USD student, there is an on-campus diversion class. I forget who it's through, but essentially we do have some partnership with them, and they help people really understand the impacts of alcohol, and then they also give them tools as well to be able to better overcome that, especially as students, where it's coming straight from the university. It's more tailored for people their age.
Yeah. Have you received any feedback from students or the community about these efforts? These efforts?
The only time I've heard about it, I'm fairly new here, but yesterday there was a kid that came to court. Maybe I shouldn't say kid. He's like under 21. But he came to court yesterday, and he really just told judge that he really recommends this diversion class that he took, and that it helped him change his life around. And he had grown up for the last couple of years with a sobriety issue, and that this class really helped him in overcoming his addiction to alcohol.
Are there any other partnerships or programs in other college towns that you think Vermillion or USD could learn from or implement?
I don't know of any off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I haven't been here too long either.
Are there any parts of the legal or community response to alcohol use, whether it's laws, procedures, or programs, that you think should be changed, removed, or handled differently?
At this time, I'm going to say no. I do wish that we've had a few cases now where friends will just leave their other drunk friend alone, and it's pretty evident how that can become a problem for the friend later down the road. So I'm going to say, if you're going to drink, at least stay in a group that you feel safe with.
Yep.
Because a lot of bad things can happen if you're on your own and you've been drinking and may not remember or recall everything. So just stay with your peers, stay safe.